have understanding about the situation. No. It's a really crazy notion. I don't really understand the price index. The probably the most elementary way of understanding the price index. But I don't know much about Korean. How do I actually get out of the down spiral of the fatigue, exhaustion testimony? How one can actually get out of the constant down spiral, vicious cycle of fatigue and exhaustion? There's a testimony. I'm so sorry. I probably really have to give up, making a translation from Korean to English. I really think I can actually do a better job. To me, studying French and English or German would it be much suitable? I don't really understand. The shuka is what? I don't really know this. But the thing is, I have to actually know through someone like Kang Hee-ja, because that's really interesting. Once upon a time, she actually said that, oh, you didn't actually know this English word. For that reason, we can actually assume that you had a hold. For that reason, we can immediately accuse you of not knowing enough about English. Then my problem is, if I ever actually apply your logic to the circumstances that I'm facing, that you were not actually known to this side of my story, then how would you actually be authorized to claim that you know every aspect of my psychology, or you had an understanding about my reading skills? Why would you actually say that? Because you didn't even actually realize that I was known to brunettes. This kind of understanding was something that I learned as a little kid. I would have never let go, especially, fender benders, or to think about traffic jams. Those kind of simple words. You want me to actually mention the bumper to bumper? What is a bumper to bumper? Cars are being stacked up on the road. They've been actually, as if connected, facing one another, closely placed, aligned with each other, because of the congestion, jamming up the road. That's really what has been called the bumper-to-bumper traffic jam, right? I mean, the problem is, how would you even actually claim that if you ever actually had any idea about my understanding, how would you claim that you know everything about me? You didn't actually demonstrate the perfect understanding or comprehension about my knowledge. You didn't even actually have any idea. You didn't even have any idea how much I was looking into your life. Then you didn't actually see the much greater depth understanding that might be necessitated to claim this perfection as a full trusted authority of your knowledge. Then how would you even actually claim that you know everything about me? There are so many holes that needs to be plugged, right? Think about it. How would you in the first place, you would argue that you are such a super genius who had a full grip on me. Yeah, who had a full grips on me. Think about it. Your Dragonet system is not working properly, which you would actually leak so many things. But the problem is, once there is a leakage, that means there could be another one. It's really a slippery slope. Once there is a hole, then there is no more hole that could not be punched out. Then I can easily find the weakness in your logic. You didn't actually know so many things about me. Then how can I actually give you authority to claim that you knew what was happening inside of my soul? How would you even actually claim that you are such a great, insightful expert who somehow excelled in analyzing my habits and perception and understanding? How would you even actually say that? Don't you not actually think that you were being really arrogant? This time, what the hubris argument should be applied to them. This time, the tables are being turned. I have to actually accuse them of being very rude, who would actually propel their argument with no evidence that would be great enough to surmount this, fallible fallacies existing to ruin and obliterate their logic. Think about it. Excuse me. Between life and death, pediatry in the, cancer station. In the actual cancer pavilion, there has been a pediatric doctor who's been taking care of children who are likely to be contracted or even diagnosed with the cancer. They're likely to be hospitalized, feeling very lonely. So this is a pediatric cancer doctor. Cancer doctor in English normally called oncologist. So we actually have to call her is a pediatric oncologist. This is a perfect word. In case you actually think that you know it, you can actually check that out. Because ever since I was hospitalized to this neuro Presbyterian, university clinic, I already actually learned this. A pediatric oncologist, I learned it. I don't feel lonely. Einschuldsam. Baby panda loves a ball. Distraction. The new poverty. How one's work has never been enough. Socially insecure. That means, these working poor people are never been sufficiently making a shift for themselves. They're lagging behind. One's work would never take care of the bread and butter issue to pay off the utility bills or rent. They actually have no disposable income that would be sufficient to sustain their life, right? 다이어트만 6년간 해본 무용과 언니의 말. This lady who had been on diet for 6 years, and it's her testimony. The testimony from a lady who was already on diet for 6 years. As a choreographer, as a ballet dancer, who majored in ballet. A ballet specialist who was on diet for 6 years. 이렇게 하면 되나요? 한국어를 잘 못하겠다. I don't really actually understand the Korean words. That's really bizarre. Because, whenever... No, I'm not lying. Because I'm actually really terrible with the Korean, youngsters or, advanced words. I don't really actually know much about it. I'm not lying. The only thing that I can actually understand here in South Korea is, someone who talks like my mom. I can actually do it really quickly. I really don't mind. But I'm actually so not to the new generation's words here in South Korea. Because I've never actually had any type of a close confidant or associate who might be youngsters and young generation. So I've never actually interacting with this younger blood. So I've been actually so unknown to it. I'm not lying. I've never actually, expanded my Korean horizons by studying or communicating with the Korean people, so I don't really know much about them. But it's really easy. She was on diet for 6 years, and it's her testimony. This is really a must-read testimony from a lady from a choreograph major who stayed on diet for 6 years. That's it. That's all I can actually read. I don't really understand. 스크랩만 20회 찍은 이런 말은 몰라요. 아 진짜 몰라요. 한국어를 잘 몰라요. 아 진짜 몰라요. 지금 뭘 해야죠. Can you take a selfie with a smartphone? It's really easy. Can you take a selfie with a smartphone? Können Sie wirklich nehmen eine Selfie? Selfie ist ganz einfach. selbst alleine aufgenommen Foto. 그러니까 셀카 혼자 스마트폰 찍을 수 있냐고. Ladies starting from one's age 60 to 75 and to 80, they're actually asking people, can you actually manage to take your picture by your own smartphone? Not really take the picture of landscape or portrait of others. You actually take a self-portrait. That's a selfie. In Korean, we actually say 셀카, right? But I never actually said a selfie as a selfie. Because I really remember that during the Nelson Mandela's funeral, President Obama and Michelle Obama tried to take a selfie. You remember this? Are you keeping up with American news? President Obama and Michelle Obama, then First Lady and First Lady, of course, and the President of the United States, had tried to take a selfie during the Nelson Mandela's funeral. Yeah, I remember this. In addition to this notorious, body. 개뱀을 싶어 하늘로 American Sign Language translator who actually stumbled and stuttered, right? Oh. No, it's never been an actual machine. Because I really understand Korean words, I'm not lying. What does that mean? I'm so sorry. I really have a difficulty of understanding Korean words. Because it's never been a machine. I never actually faked it. You can actually read in my mind. Don't actually try to fake the situation by saying that I would actually know everything about Korean. This kind of utter miserable assumption is really laughable because I never actually had any close relationship with a Korean who've been actually living their regular life outside this house. I don't know much about their understanding, or I don't know much about their vernacular language habits or idiomatic expressions newly crafted. Korea is a rural society where people are creating or coining and minting so many different neologisms, right? I would be so falling behind and lagging behind. They have no idea. Neologistic words and idioms, they're actually being, flooding this community. And I've never been onto that. I've never been.